We're here with former Miramonte principal Bran Yaich today, and how you doing today, Bran?
Doing very well.
Or should I say Colonel, as Coach Durant used to refer to you as. So let's get a little bit of background on how you came to Miramonte. So you were a student at Cal, right?
Right.
And played football at Cal with Pappy Waldorf?
Yes.
And where did you grow up?
Grew up in San Francisco.
Okay. What high school there?
Well, Old Commerce High School, which was closed in 1952, but it's a downtown high school right where actually Davies Hall sits on our football field, our former football field.
Oh, interesting. So you played for a legendary coach at Cal with Pappy Waldorf. How was that experience?
Well, it was a unique experience because Cal was on a big roll. We went, game after game after game, winning until we got to the Rose Bowl, and we didn't do so well there.
Yeah.
But he was a unique coach.
A good motivator.
Yes, and he did it in a very low-key way. For instance, we had, in those days, the team was composed of a lot of students. I mean, we had players who were majoring in science and engineering in a variety of areas. And if we had a lab in the afternoon, Pappy would insist that we go to the lab and not go to practice.
Oh, wow.
Now that's unheard of. You wouldn't hear that today, but that's the kind of guy he was.
And what position did you play?
Pardon me?
What position did you play?
Line, I was guard and tackle.
Okay. And so you did some military time, right? Was that before or after college?
No, that was after college, after I finished my teaching credential in 1954.
Okay.
I had a military obligation unknown to most people today. In those days, Cal had a mandatory ROTC requirement for every able-bodied male, and you had to take 2 years of ROTC, and the Korean War was still on, so I took the 2 years, and I was talked into taking a second 2 years, and if you took the second two, when you graduated, you also got a commission in the Army. And that's what happened. So in 1953, when I graduated, I was also commissioned in the Army.
So Coach Durant always called you the Colonel, but did you ever make it to that rank?
Excuse me. Yes, I did, in the reserve.
Okay.
I spent a number of years on active duty, and then over the years, I spent a total of 30 years in total active and reserve duty. And so I finished my tour in 30 years, and at that, about 4 years before I retired, I was promoted to full colonel.
Okay. So you got your start in teaching as a student teacher at Acalanes, right?
In 1954, right. I student taught at Acalanes, of all things, in English. And that was a good experience. Acalanes was the toast of the town, so to speak. They were thought of being the most innovative school in the area, and it turned out the only thing that was innovative at Acalanes was that they had instituted a 10-minute brunch period in the morning where the kids could go to the cafeteria and get cinnamon rolls. That was the novelty that everybody was touting.
Were they the same cinnamon rolls we had at Miramonte?
They were essentially those same
Those
rolls.
were great cinnamon rolls.
Yeah.
And so then you taught up at Sonoma for what, eight years or so?
My first job was in Sonoma at the Sonoma Valley High School.
Okay.
I taught science and math, of all things, and I coached football and baseball there.
And how'd you get your start at Miramonte?
Well, I was at Sonoma for 9 years, and it's a small town, and I was looking for something a little bit bigger, and so just on a lark, I'd been visiting down south, looking at some schools down in the valley, and on the way home, we passed by Acalanes High School, and I said, this would be a great place to work. And so I applied on a lark, and in a short term later, I was offered a position at Miramonte High School.
And that was, did you say 65?
1965, right.
Okay. And you were there till 85, right?
Correct.
Okay. So you coached with Coach Durant initially, right? Football?
Yes. Well, I coached freshmen my first year at Miramonte, and then I coached JVs with Roger for 2 years.
Okay.
And then we coached the varsity for 1 year.
And
then I went into the office.
weren't you guys taking over for a really successful coach?
No,
If I remember right.
the coach before me had some difficulty.
Oh, I'm probably thinking about Coach Boschetti taking over for
We
somebody.
hired Boschetti.
Yeah.
Later, the guy who replaced me when I went into the administrative office was a guy by the name of Tom Strain, and he was there for a few years, and he was pretty successful.
Oh, and he's the one that Coach Boschetti ended up replacing, right?
Well, he moved to Los Medanos Junior College, and then we hired Boschetti.
And he moved to Los Medanos.
He moved to Los Medanos
Yeah.
too, and neither one of them stayed in coaching very long.
Yeah.
But Coach Boschetti was excellent.
Yeah.
He was an excellent coach.
Yeah, he was a good guy. So how long did you coach before moving into administration?
Well, let's see. I coached 9 years in Sonoma and 4 years at Miramonte, so that's 13 years.
Okay. And did you teach at the same time as you coached?
Yes.
What did you teach?
I taught science and math.
Okay. And when you moved into administration, were you a vice principal or did you become the principal?
No, I was the vice principal to
Okay.
start with.
Who were you under?
Bob Callan, who was a great guy. And
Isn't a field named after him? Like,
Yes.
Is it Akalani's?
yeah, no, the field at Miramonte
It's Miramonte's field. Okay.
named after him. Yeah.
Okay. And there were some good athletes in your time, especially track athletes. I think the 800 record holder Moog was there. Dixon Farmer was a little
Dixon
before your
Farmer was
time.
the
He was
big-
amazing.
Yeah, he was a big name
Yeah.
in track and field.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we had swimming came along and water polo came along, and you had the Schnugs and
Yeah.
all of those.
And the Murphys.
Murphys. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what are some of your fondest memories in your time at Miramonte?
Well, my fondest memories really are my experience with the students. I enjoyed the students tremendously. I enjoyed going out at lunchtime and talking to them on the senior lawn and on the other parts of the school.
Or catching them in the backfield?
Pardon me?
Or catching them in the backfield?
Well, the backfield wasn't so much the backfield was off limits pretty much.
Yeah.
Except the area right there off of the arts and crafts room where
Yeah.
it tended to attract some of the lesser light. But at any rate, I really enjoyed that. That was really what I enjoyed doing, is being with the students. I was not. A lot of administrators spend a lot of time going to conferences and learning all about whatever there is to learn. I don't know. I've been to a number of them. I never thought too highly of most of them. But at any rate, I thought my job was to be with the students and with the staff too, but the students were the ones who needed me most. And so that was, I used to take great pleasure in knowing the names of the kids and knowing I could tell if a kid from Camp Lindo came over at noontime, I could tell he wasn't mine because I knew the kids pretty well.
Get out of here, kid.
Yeah, I knew the kids pretty well because I spent a lot of time with them, and that was, I even was the sponsor of the Block M Club when I was principal, and I was the advisor for the freshman class, so I could keep in touch with the kids other than just on a non-personal level.
If you don't like the kids, why do that kind of job?
Well,
I know there's a lot of people that don't care for kids too much, and I don't think they make the best principals either.
yeah. Well, I think if you don't like kids, education, especially public education at the high school level, is a bad place for you.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about. A lot of people like to think in terms of strictly the academic part of it. And certainly the academic is an important part, but it's not the total part.
Right.
So anyhow.
So you went into the district office after you left in '85, right?
Right.
And how long were you there?
I was there 8 years
Okay.
as assistant superintendent for personnel. And, that was that was okay. Initially, it was a very pleasant experience.
Did you retire after that, or did you go into something else?
No, I retired after
Okay.
that. Retired.
How long have you been in your home in Orinda here?
Pardon me?
How long have you been in your home in Orinda here?
We moved here in '68.
Okay.
So it's going on 50 years.
Same year that my family moved to Moraga. It's a great community.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we consider Orinda, Moraga,
Sister cities, really.
the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't. We go to church in Moraga, so it's one community really, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's been great catching up with you. I know people are going to love catching up with you too. Any greetings you want to give to your old Miramonte students?
It's been great knowing you, and just keep on going. Miramonte was always number one, and you're the reason it was number one. Great kids, great parents.
All right, go Mats.